Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Rainbow Six Siege lore video. In this video, we'll be going over everybody's favorite Cyclops, Capitao. We'll be covering his full backstory to uncover what kind of person he is, and most importantly, how he lost his eye. If you happen to enjoy this lore video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more. The more people that like and subscribe shows me that you want this type of content. So if you enjoy, click those two buttons and show your support. Now let's begin. Before we get into the story of Capitao, we gotta cover some basic information first. He was born November 17th, 1971 in Nova Iguacu, Brazil. I know I pronounced that probably completely wrong, but I did my best, and hopefully you'll get used to that because there's a lot of pronouncing stuff that I'm gonna mess up in this one. He's 6 foot or 1.83 meters tall and weighs 190 pounds or 86 kilograms. Vicente Souza, better known as the Lad Capitao, was the youngest of 3 children and grew up in the rough streets of Nova Iguacu outside of Rio de Janeiro. When Capitao was about 10-ish years old, his life took a sour turn when his older brother was murdered by drug dealers of the Comando Vermelho. This prompted Capitao to dedicate his life to protecting Brazil, which he started by joining the Polícia Civil right after high school. While serving with them, he was trained in a wide range of tactical weapons and breaching strategies, and was very quickly recruited by the Corregedoria de Recursos Especiais, or CORE. I know I pronounced that completely wrong. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing. I'm doing my best. Much like Aruni, who we covered in the previous lore video, Capitao's early life was marked with a tragedy. Also, much like Aruni, this loss instead set Capitao on a more righteous path. It shows how strong of a will and how good of a person Capitao really is. He didn't submit to the grief or turmoil. He instead turned all of his feelings of sadness from his brother's death into motivation. That good old motivation. It also mentioned that he was picked up by CORE pretty quickly, meaning he took really easily to weapons training and breaching tactics, meaning Capitao was a badass even in his younger days. During a raid on the Tercio Comando Poro, Capitao was ambushed as he cleared a house in the Senador Camara. He and 3 others were held captive and tortured for 2 whole months, resulting in the loss of his left eye. Despite the torture and the loss of an eye, his inner resolve kept him alive until CORE could finally rescue them. I think we all knew Capitao was going to lose his eye in a pretty horrible way, but this is just kind of harsh. Like, he didn't lose it in a battle. It wasn't just like an ouch, that hurt, now let me get treatment. Like, he wasn't extracted immediately and, got treatment for it. He was tortured for who knows how long his eye was missing and how much pain he was in the entire time. This once again shows how strong of a will and how tough he really is. Even after losing an eye, he wouldn't give up or submit. He withstood the pain through sheer force of will and was able to stay alive through 2 whole months of torture and survived long enough to be rescued. Capitao may be one of the toughest operators in all of Team Rainbow. After his rescue, there were talks within CORE about removing him from the field. While those talks were going on, they were also looking for field operatives to test out new gear, and Capitao saw this as his chance. His stoicism and unique tactical method turned him into a local icon. BOPE believed Capitao perfectly embodied their motto, victory over death, and recruited him into their ranks. Capitao accepted, as it would see him working in the favela where his gear would lessen the most casualties. He went on to become a renowned expert in organization and psychological barrier of criminal gangs. His fight and mission to end drug crime led the cartel to place a bounty on his head, which is a nice little fun fact. Like, he was so good at saving people and making sure that drug crime got, lessened, that the cartel was like, nah, we need to whack this guy. We need to take him out. It kind of sucks that CORE wanted him out of the field after his rescue. On one hand, I understand having an operative missing an eye is kind of a huge risk to take, since losing an eye can obviously cause a ton of problems. But things worked out pretty well in the end, I think. He ended up joining BOPE, which I believe is higher up than CORE. I'm not exactly sure on that, but I believe it's way better than CORE, actually. And he got to work where he wanted, in the favelas. I also find it pretty cool that he became a local legend. Like, he's so nice and so good at shutting down drug crime that he gets his own local legend. That's cool. It's also pretty fitting that BOPE's motto is victory over death. I mean, Capitao does embody that pretty well. He went through hell and back while being tortured, and he survived through it all. It's also pretty interesting that the cartel put a bounty on him. That's how you know he's good at his job. He's so good at busting down doors and securing the bags for the good guys that even the cartel is like, let's get him out of here. I think that's just a cool detail for his backstory. Sometime after this, he ended up meeting a girl and falling in love. He had 3 children and named his eldest son after the brother he lost so long ago. Then, in 2016, he accepted an offer to join Rainbow alongside Diana Pira, aka Caveira. Moving on, we have the psychological report from good old Harry. This is pretty long. So for your viewing pleasure, I'm going to summarize and quote the more interesting or important bits. Harry notes, "The loss of his brother made him dedicate his life to protecting Brazil. He can become fixated when innocent lives are at stake. This makes him an excellent operative in conditions where there's a high risk of collateral damage. His experience as a hostage has only strengthened his resolve to protect Brazil from the horrors the drug trade inflicts upon its people." This quote once again shows us that Capitao has a good heart, but it also shows us more of that strategically gifted mind he has. As someone that has been a hostage, he knows the stakes of missions that involve any civilians. This makes him perform better. He knows the stakes and he's willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that everyone gets out alive. He's smart, but with nerves of steel that still perform under intense pressure. Harry goes on to talk about how, at his heart, Capitao is a family man. He does what he does to protect his family and all families and to make the world a safer place. His favorite memories are those of his house filled with his family, everyone he cares about close by and safe at his side. He even admits he doesn't really trust the friends of his children and that he knows sometimes he may be a tad bit overbearing. But this is understandable. With the loss of his brother, he's always going to fear for the safety of his family, no matter what the situation is. Harry also notes that it's clear Capitao's past has shaped him. He's fiercely dedicated to justice and protecting those who cannot protect themselves. It's made him relentless. He's always analyzing every aspect of how these gangs function in order to find a weakness. His resolve and years of unique experiences make him a valuable asset to any team. With that being said, it's important that there's some distance between his role as a protector and his sense of self. They need him to be understanding, but also grounded at the same time. When we put all of this together, his backstory and his psychological report, we get a pretty clear picture of who Capitao is. He's a good-hearted man, willing to do whatever it takes to protect the innocent and save others from the fate his brother faced, and the pain his torture brought him. He's intelligent and more than capable of holding his own in the ranks of Rainbow and against any threat they may face. But most importantly, he's a family man. When it boils down to it, he's doing what he can to make the world a safer place for everyone, but especially his children whom he cares so much about. That is who Capitao is. That's actually going to be it for this video. I want to hear from you all. Did you enjoy this lore video? Do you want to see more videos like this? And which operator do you want to know the lore behind next? I don't know, so let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for even more amazing Rainbow Six Siege content. Also, don't forget to check out the description and join my Discord server where we talk all Siege all the time. I'm the Battlemoon, and I will see you in the next Siege.